Happy Wednesday, everybody. Bitcoin is down 5%. It went from 26,000 to 24,800 in a couple of hours after 2 p.m. After Federal Reserve of US, they announced they will be hiking rates to more times 0.5 basis, 0.25 basis in future this year, 2 times, and Bitcoin is taking a hit, and Bitcoin is down almost 5%. We will talk about Bitcoin, and this is what we already saw it coming. If you watch my videos from previous couple of days, I was telling you this is happening. And also I will talk about 2 stocks which I am looking to buy as soon as tomorrow. These are healthcare stocks. I will review that as well, and we will review some of the stocks which are in buy zone for tomorrow's trade. And yeah, if you're liking the video, if you're liking the content, please hit the like button. It only takes 1 second to hit the like. Please subscribe, share with your friends and family. It's free. And if you're making money, want to thank, there's a PayPal link. I will appreciate all the donations. It will be really helpful for this channel's success. All right, guys. So Bitcoin is down 5%. It started, the dump started around 2:30 this afternoon, and now it's down 5%. And if I go to 1 hour chart, if you watch my videos, and I was telling you Bitcoin really needs to make a new high, this high, and I also have this yellow dotted line created here. I told you Bitcoin is now going in this triangle. It looks like Bitcoin tried to break out of this white triangle, and then it did a back test. And I told you yesterday we really need to go above this high. If you are a bull, we really need to cross this 26,435. Bitcoin fooled everybody. Bitcoin was in this triangle. It made it look like it's breaking out, and now it's back testing, and then it's breaking out, and look what happened. They dumped right down. And also I want to show you this trend line, this white trend line. You can see this white trend line, and Bitcoin was holding there until the Fed meeting this Wednesday. You can see last couple of days, you can see these indecision candles. You can see this indecision candles from last 3 days. We were just like on this trend line, going nowhere. You can see this trend line, and today what happened? We just broke down. Okay, now we're breaking down. Where do we go from here? Now Bitcoin is in this buy zone. Okay, I have this block here. I think at minimum Bitcoin is going to the bottom around like from here. This is actually in the buy zone, but I think it's going to go a little bit more lower, and at the lower end of this first box is 23,447. I think Bitcoin is going to go down here, find some buyers, do a bounce, and then go eventually and go to this level 20,000 to around where did I get this level? I'll show you that as well. If you look at Bitcoin futures, let me quickly get Bitcoin futures here. Here is Bitcoin futures. You can see this gap around 20,345 to be exact. There's a big gap here. I think Bitcoin is going to come and fill this gap. If I go to 1 hour chart, on Monday Bitcoin came with a gap down, and you can see almost all gaps are filled. So you can see on Monday we gapped down, and then on Tuesday we went up and filled this gap very nicely, and now we are going down. Okay, and we're making a lower low. You can see this low is lower than previous low, so now Bitcoin is in a downtrend. Okay, what does downtrend means? We're making a series of lower lows, lower highs. This is another lower low. We can make another lower high, and then we can keep going lower. All right, so Bitcoin is in a very bad spot right now. If I go to daily chart, this is Bitcoin futures. Actually, let's go to the live market here, and this is where we are. So this is my expectation. I really think Bitcoin will go and fill this gap at 20,000. I don't know when. I think most likely later this year we'll make that gap fill around October, November, December timeframe. But for now, I think we're going to have a little bit more sell-off. I think we will. You can see US futures, they are selling off after this. Fed is saying everybody, they did pause the rate, but Fed saying they're going to continue raising rate hikes, maybe 2 more times. So you can see everything is red now, and I think market is taking a hit. All commodities are down. They're taking a hit, and I think it's going to put lower pressure on Bitcoin. Dollar is up. You can see dollar today. After now, it's taking a bit. It's going higher, and that's putting a lot of pressure on Bitcoin. And again, I think the buy spot will be around here. Anything around 24,000 and below, you should slowly start to buy, and then I think we will get another rally, which will most likely fail. And then we will go lower. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this yellow line because that's not relevant anymore. This was on 1 hour chart. So I think this resistance is still valid. Bitcoin was not able to cross that. I think most likely what it looks like, Bitcoin already made the high for this year, this 31,000. I think this will be the high most likely for this year. I don't think Bitcoin is going anywhere further. Maybe next year we'll see, but for now it looks like this is already the high. Looks like a Wyckoff accumulation, and Bitcoin is looking very, very bearish. Okay, so do I want to short Bitcoin here? No, we missed if you guys watch my videos, I told you this is happening a while ago. Okay, I told you many days, a couple of weeks to months ago that this dump is coming. Be prepared. And you can see the short videos also I posted there a long time ago that this dump is happening and nothing changed. We're going lower. I think you can start accumulating slowly around 24,000 and below for a little bit of bounce, and then eventually that bounce will fail, and eventually it's going to go low here around 20,000. Okay, so now this trend line is not holding, so that's done. Also, there's some support here. You can see this whole area here. If I extend this here, you can see this is also support area here. So to the bottom end of the zone, which is around 23,500, this whole area is a good support. Okay, so Bitcoin is not going to crash straight down. Bitcoin is going to go down here, stabilize a bit, and then go higher. All right. So yeah, and also if I put some moving averages in, let's quickly bring some moving averages in to see how it's doing. I think it broke below 200 EMA as well, and you can see it broke below this light blue line. This light blue line is 200 EMA, and now this another support is coming around 200 SMA. So this is the blue line. This is the most important line, 200 simple moving average, dark blue line. It's also coming to the support area here, which is around exactly at this time it's around 23,781. So Bitcoin can go down, find support. So from here, from today's close to that support line, we are around 5%, 5.5%. So Bitcoin can go a little bit more down, 5%. That will be a good area to buy for a possible bounce. And then again, a big risk is coming later on, late in the summer. So just be prepared. Okay. So yeah, you already got the plan. And if I want to see any, Bitcoin is not going to go straight down, guys. It looks like I don't see any divergences, so it's going down. So it's going to keep going lower. And I want to see some divergences building on 1 hour chart and also on daily chart for an early indication of a reversal. But for now, it looks like we're going down straight. And since we got this sell signal here, we're going down. And even if I told you before last week, couple of weeks ago, weekly signal, I told you, so I got the sell dot and green line cross red line, and you know what happens, dump. Okay, I told you before, every time this happens, you can see here on weekly, green line cross red line, big dump. Here, red signal, green line cross red line, big dump. Red signal here, green line cross red line, big dump. Okay, so now we are getting a big dump. All right, so that covers crypto. Actually, Ethereum, let's quickly look at Ethereum, down heavily. Now it's in the buy zone, okay, but I think it's a little bit more to go. You can see this big confluence of support. This is the area you really want to buy Ethereum. Ethereum is on support. You can see this blue line. This is 200 SMA line. Right there it stopped, okay. So it can stay here a little bit more. You can see it's also in oversold condition here. You can see RSI, maybe it will go a little bit lower. But yeah, it's in the buy zone. Ethereum, you should be looking to buy Ethereum here. Looking good, and we'll get a bounce probably, and then that bounce is gonna fail. And also, I don't think Ethereum has any gap. Let's quickly look at Ethereum futures. Let's see if there's any gap there. Ethereum was down more than 4%. Actually, there is a big gap here. Okay, there is a big gap around 1436. You can see this huge gap on Ethereum futures. That definitely will fill. So I'm 100% sure. Let me mark it down here. This big gap. This big gap will be filled. So if you want, you can put an order right now. You can put an order right now of 14.136, okay, Ethereum, and that's definitely going to be getting filled, okay. So that's something for you to consider. Also, there's a big gap to the upside, so that will eventually fill at a later stage. But for now, I think we're going down. That will be my buy zone around 14.36 for Ethereum, okay. All right, so that covers crypto. Okay, and also I want to show you short-term indicators. Let's quickly get rid of these. Let's quickly get my 3 standard deviation filter here. You can see what happened today. Bitcoin went down and it went below these 3 standard deviations. You can see this green lines of standard deviation. It went way below that. And for short term, it is in the buy zone. Okay, you can look at these green lines. These are the buy zones, 24,986, 25,000, 25,416. So short term, we could get a little bit of bounce, okay, because it's in oversold condition, okay. So we should get a bounce because these indicators are always right. So it's in the buy zone short term. For tomorrow, you can look to take a look to buy Bitcoin. We will get a little bit of bounce. And these are the sell zones, 24,980. So if we get a bounce, again, a dead cat bounce until 25,980, look to sell there, okay? So it's possible you can get a bounce. Ethereum, same thing. You can see it's way below third standard deviation, okay? So it's a good time to buy Ethereum. Maybe we'll get a little bit bounce. At minimum, we can bounce till 1714, okay? So look to buy Ethereum look to sell Ethereum around 1733. One thing to note on Ethereum, it did not even hold support, which is very surprising because 1700 is a very good support zone. It just fell straight down, which is a big worry for me. We can see 1700 is a big support zone, just went straight down, didn't even hold at 1700. So that's really bad. But anyhow, I think it's going to find some accumulation here and then do a bounce later on, okay? So that covers crypto. Now I'm going to go through let's go through stocks which I'm looking to buy tomorrow, okay? So let's go to 1 minute chart. I want to show you based on my indicator what stocks I'm looking to buy and where they are. So you can see green lines are the ones I want to buy. So UNH, it fell. This is the largest US pharmaceutical company. Tomorrow is dividend day, so it's going to be another sell-off tomorrow because of dividends. So also you can see it fell below third standard deviation, so it's in the buy zone here. And if I go to daily chart, what I want to show you here, you can see it's on right at a big support zone, okay, right at the big support zone. And this is where we were in 2021, October 2021, okay. So this whole area was like we're back where we were in 2 years ago. So it's a big support zone. And also from here, even if you buy to this gap, which is eventually going to fill almost 7% up, okay, this gap will eventually be filled. We have at least at minimum 7% upside. So this is the first stock I'm looking to buy as soon as tomorrow. And also the second stock I'm looking to buy is CVS Health, which is also down 7%. You can see it's at previous lows. And if you see daily chart, what's happening, we broke out of this channel and then now we're doing a back test, okay. So anywhere here is a perfect spot to buy. So it can go a little bit lower here, stay here. This is where I'm looking to accumulate this. And you can see what's happening. It's making equal low or low with divergence. You can see if we make a new low tomorrow, it's going to be on divergence, okay. So CVS Health is looking really promising, and I'm really looking to buy CVS Health and UNH tomorrow, okay. So these are the two stocks I'm really looking to accumulate. Probably I'm going to be putting one of my largest positions on here. And also if I go to CVS on a weekly chart, you can see where we are. We were here in 2019. So 2019, 2020, 21, 20, so 4 years, guys. We are same place where we were 4 years ago, okay? So there's not a lot of downside. Also, we have divergences on weekly. You can see weekly also RSI has buy signal here. This was about to cross green line, about to cross red line, but we could not. We're getting a sell-off, but this is like a golden opportunity. If you missed this run before, I will be really looking forward to buying this. This is your second chance, and you don't often get second chance, okay? And if I go to 1 hour chart, let's see if we are getting any divergences yet. We're not getting any divergence, so chances are we're going to have a little bit more sell-off, okay? I want to see divergences build up, okay? You can see something like this making a new low with some higher momentum on RSI and PPO. That's what I will be looking. You can see here we made a new low, higher divergence on PPO and RSI. That's what I want to see, a little bit of more downward pressure, and I want to see a little bit divergences build, and that will be a great buy opportunity. And UNH, again, same thing, looking for a new low. Tomorrow, I think we'll have a new low because of dividends. It's going to fall a little bit lower. That will be a good time to buy. And also, I want to show you on 1 minute chart. My famous chart is telling me it's in the buy zone here. 1 minute, you can see it fell way below third standard deviation. Both these stocks, they are marked red hot. First thing tomorrow morning, I will be looking to buy, okay? So these are the best trades as of now. Let me look at some other quick snapshot for tomorrow and see how things are doing. Okay, crude oil, you can see if I zoom out a bit, it's in the it's very close to the buy zone. Okay, so if it falls below 68, 67, almost $68, that will be good to buy. Let's quickly look at S&P 500. It's in the middle. So white line is the no buys, no trade zone. It's in the middle, nothing to do here. You can see what happened here. You can see how nicely this chart works. You can see we got this sell-off around 2 o'clock. It came and touched these buy lines, and as soon as it touched it, it bounced. Okay. Same thing on US 100. Look at the beauty of this chart. Touch this green line, bounce. Touch red line, sell. US 30. Look what happened. You can see it went to second deviation. Okay, as soon as it goes below a green line, you can start to buy, and it does second deviation, which is even a better buy. The lower we go, the better it is to buy, and then it bounced. Okay, and then now it's again in the buy zone. Okay, so US 30 is in the buy zone. No, these are just for tomorrow trades, guys. So don't be like holding these for long. So take a screenshot of these. Take the exit lines where it's going to exit. These red lines. If it reached here to there tomorrow, sell it. Okay. US 2000 IWM is also in the buy zone. Okay. And let's look at natural gas today. Natural gas no trade zone here. Okay. Bitcoin already covered. So Bitcoin is in the buy zone. Ethereum is also in the buy zone. Gold. Let's quickly look at gold. Gold is also in the buy zone. You can see I told you yesterday, if you look at my video yesterday, I told you gold is in the buy zone. So gold was here. I told you buy. If you bought gold yesterday, we could have sold it right on this red line. So it was on the sell around 1960. Now again it's in the buy zone. Okay, silver is down 2%. Again, it's very close to the buy zone. This is going to be presenting a golden opportunity. I will review gold very soon. Gold is going to be coming to a very good once in a lifetime buying opportunity before it makes a new all-time high. So look to accumulate that. Copper. Let's look at copper. Copper is very close to the buy zone. These three are the buy zones. Palladium, no trade zone in the middle. Wheat in the middle, no trade zone. Corn. We're looking at commodities. No trade zone, it's in the middle. Soybean. Soybean is in the middle, no trade zone. Sugar, it's in the sell zone, very close to the sell zone. Coffee is very close to the buy zone, but still in the middle, so I'm not interested in that. Bonds, no trade zone. And let's quickly look at some other sectors. XLE, which is energy sector, very close to the buy zone. It's bouncing, so not interested. XLU, not interested in the middle. XLV, healthcare, not interested. XLI, industrial, very close to the sell zone. Real estate sector was green surprisingly, in the sell zone. XLF, financials, which is already no trade zone. Tesla sold a little bit today in the sell zone still. Apple is no trade zone. Google, no trade zone in the middle. You can see beauty of this chart. As soon as it comes here, it bounces. Okay. Microsoft, near the sell zone. Snowflakes, must be in the sell zone. Yeah, it is in the sell zone. Meta, no trade zone. Amazon, no trade zone. Netflix, sell zone. NVDA, up new all-time highs today. Sell zone. AMD, 2.5%, no trade zone. Intel, sell zone. Shopify, in the sell zone. PayPal, no trade zone. CRM, Salesforce, no trade zone. Disney was surprisingly down and still not in the buy zone. If it comes to $91, I'm also interested in Disney. Sorry. ABBV, very close to buy zone. Healthcare stock. PFE, Pfizer is also another healthcare stock near the buy zone. Nike was up for no reason, but you can see what happened on Nike. It came to the buy zone, I think couple of days ago, very close to the buy zone. It touched it here. You can see on Monday it was in buy zone. If you bought here, now it's in the sell zone. Not interested in buying Nike here. Home Depot, sorry, UPS is in the sell zone. Home Depot is also, let's see very quickly where it is. It's in the no trade zone. Let's quickly see anything else. If I will see if there are any green stocks, sorry, red stocks which sold off heavily. That might be in the buy zone. Let's see any banks here. Let's see this bank, Golden Sachs, no trade zone here. This is BCE, Bell. We had a basically dividend day today, so selling off, but still in the no trade zone. And Enbridge is in the buy zone, so this is also very interested. So actually, I'm going to move Enbridge also to the top. I'm really interested to buy utility stocks, and it's also a Canadian stock. So I'm going to keep this at the top. This is looking very nice. So I'll be looking to accumulate Enbridge also tomorrow. So move it here. Okay. And XOM, this is very close to the buy zone. XOM is also looking very good. CVX, let's quickly see. Nothing. TRP, let's see. No trade zone. NSU also no trade zone, I think. Yeah, I think that covers it. I don't see any other good stocks. But yeah, okay. So now let's quickly look at our MES and see what we can predict based on cycle analysis. So let me quickly go to MES chart. This is MES chart. Let me get rid of this indicator. I don't need this anymore. And then let me add some other indicators. Let's quickly go here to this one. And let's hide this. Let's go to daily chart. And you can see this is MES. This is futures, S&P 500 futures. Okay. Projection is still same. Futures are selling off a bit. Looks like we could have made a new high. I don't know. We'll see. But I do need a pullback. Basically, also you can see here, all the indicators are in oversold condition. You can see this rotation is 9%. This is like unbelievable bounce. Okay, it's now in extremely overbought conditions. This is not the time to be long. It's like this is the overbought condition. Not looking to buy here. This is the time we want to sell. This is the whole area you want to sell, and this is the area below yellow line you want to buy. Okay, overbought conditions. Not interested in buying here. So looking for sell-off, little bit sell-off, and then a bounce to 4,500 later on. But for now, it's very important to cool off. You can see PPO is at the top. RSI is already in these green lines. This is daily chart, and it's looking really, really oversold. Okay. And let's go to SPY. SPY is the ETF we use to trade S&P 500. And you can see on SPY there are gaps. There's a gap at minimum. This gap around 421.97. It's going to come there, and also this big box. So I don't know how much sell-off going to be, but we will also, let's go to 1 hour chart. Looks like we fill this gap, so I can get rid of this line. There's a gap here around 421. And also there's another big gap here around 406. So I don't think we're going to go to 406 yet, but at minimum, I think it looks most likely we're going to go touch 421. All right. So that's S&P 500. Let's quickly look at MNQ, which is NASDAQ futures. Okay. So NASDAQ looks like this chart needs to be updated now. So it looks like we do need a sell-off. Okay. And then I don't know if it's already made a high or it's going to make another high. This is very tricky these days, but looks like we're very close to the top, and then we're going lower, right? So this is my projection. And then if I go to triple Qs, let's quickly go to triple Qs here. You can see what's happening here. We have multiple gaps. There's a gap around 354, another big gap here around 332. That will be my ideal zone, and that's where this trend line is, this white trend line. So I'm looking for that gap to fill, and then a bounce, and then eventually go lower, right? And let's go to US 100 on 1 hour chart. Let's see what was happening. You can see what happened. We were going on a higher high on divergence on PPO and RSI. You can see big divergence on RSI here. Actually, it's showing here very nicely. Okay, you can see what happened here. We made a new high, but on divergence, so we were required to make a pullback, which we are getting now. And yeah, and even on US 500, which is S&P 500, same thing, divergence, new high on with lower momentum. So now we're getting a pullback, which is healthy for the market. This is going to be a buy the dip. So you really want to buy this dip. And I already told you what stocks I'm looking to buy. I'm going to make Enbridge also red. Yeah, okay. So VIX basically selling off. But you know what happened yesterday? I told you, you can see there's a gap here around 13.85. So VIX filled this gap, and now there's no other gap left. So I think it's going to go higher. From here, we're going to get some sell-off, and VIX is going to go higher, and that will put some pressure on US 500 and Nasdaq stocks. Okay. US 30, which is Dow Jones, looks like top is in. A couple of days ago, Dow Jones was down because of mainly these two stocks, healthcare stocks. Mainly healthcare, and now it's going lower, so that's good, healthy for the market. Looking for this to find a bid buy zone here, and then make a new high. All right, later on this summer. US 2000 also same thing. You can see this resistance, nothing changed. 1901, I have it here, and basically it's not able to close above that. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see what happened. This trend line here, white trend line, it came for a back test, and now we are selling off. All right, so same thing, divergence was new high, made divergence, same story everywhere. Now we're going lower, but I think this is going to be buy the dip. So if it goes to this buy zone, which is around 1810, if it goes here, that's going to be a very great opportunity to buy for another rip higher later on. Crude oil daily chart. Basically, I told you yesterday, so it's in a range here. So this range is this 73.59 is a sell zone. So if I draw a box here, this big box is like a sell zone. So, and then the bottom box is a buy zone. So it's basically in a range. Okay, so it's just chopping around here. So if it comes tomorrow here, look to buy. If it goes here, look to sell. But eventually, I'm looking for this range to eventually hold for a couple of days and weeks, and then eventually it's going to make a decision depending on OPEC. But looking for lower prices. If it goes down, look to buy. If it goes up, to look to sell. All right, so nothing changed there. Dollar. Looking like it's going to bounce a little bit. It's found support on this 50 daily SMA line, looking for a bounce, but then bounce should fail. Eventually we go lower. And natural gas looking very close to the bottom, and you can see what happened. Let's go to 1 hour chart. I think there's a gap here, small gap here around 221. So if it comes down there, look to buy, and that will be the bottom in my opinion. Bitcoin and Ethereum I covered. Gold coming very close to the buy zone. So this box around 1929, 1930, let's say, to around 1900, 1999. It's actually it is in the buy zone. Okay, so if tomorrow we get more sell-off, look to buy gold. Okay, this is a very good opportunity to buy. I think gold is going to hit new all-time high. Okay, so look to buy gold very soon as tomorrow. Silver is selling off right in the resistance sell-off. Now it's going down, so also it's coming to the buy zone. This buy zone is around 22.90. You can see 22.9 to $22. Okay, so this is the area from today's close. Silver could be, if we go down around to touch 2.5% more. Okay, so it can happen as soon as tomorrow. Gold miners, something I'm looking to accumulate, and you can see what happened exactly. If I zoom in a bit, it touched this trend line right to the dot, and it bounced. Okay, and also if I go to 1 hour chart, looks like it filled some gaps. So this gap is filled, so we can delete this. Okay, and if I go to daily chart, so this is already touched buy zone today. The lower we go, you should be looking to accumulate. It can go as low as here, $29. There's another gap here, but this is in a buy zone right now. So look to accumulate gold miners. This has been selling from the top to the bottom, from new or previous all-time highs to now. It's down 15%. Okay, really want to buy gold miners here. This is the time to buy. Okay, copper also in the buy zone, not in the buy zone yet. But I think this is the buy zone around 3.8. So from the top to the bottom, let's please measure this. How much is left from today's? So around 3% down. That will be a really nice time to buy copper. CPER is the ETF. You can look to buy. All right. Palladium was up and also forming a bottom. Nothing wrong in Palladium forming a bottom. You can look to accumulate. PALL was up today, but now giving back a little bit. Wheat. basically not able to cross above this daily 50 red SMA line. I really want wheat to cross above that to be bullish. Okay, but it's already in this wedge. You can see this is a bullish wedge, falling wedge, and I'm just waiting for a breakout. If we close above this red line, which is 50 SMA line, that's going to be very, very bullish. All right. Corn, again, corn is also looking to form a bottom. If I draw a Fibonacci retracement, my buy zone is going to be here around 593 to 574. This is the buy zone for corn. If this thing falls here, I'll be looking to buy corn. Okay, so let's make it green. This is the buy zone for corn. All right. And soybean was flat. Same thing here. Let's draw some Fib retracement on a smaller time frame. And let's draw a buy zone here. This is the buy zone for soybean for me. All right, looking to buy here. Sugarcane just gripping higher. It did sell off a bit, but now it looks like it wants to. Looks like bottom is in. Now it's going higher again. It's very bullish. It crossed above this red line, which is daily 50 SMA line, and also I got a buy signal here. So sugarcane is looking good. Actually, let's quickly look at the US 100. Sorry, I just realized something. No, there's no crossover here. Even US 500, still no crossover. I just want to double check if we got this cross signal, but no. Okay, sugarcane is looking bullish. Yeah, looking good. I don't see, you see there was a divergence. Now we sold off. So looking good for repair. It's to a new all-time high. Coffee looks like it's forming a bottom, so it's also in this trend line. You can see this trend line is right on supported. Now I could not find the ETF to buy coffee. If you guys know what to buy, I think JO got delisted. If you know any ETF to buy, let me know. This coffee ETF is not coming here, so I don't know what to buy. So, but I still have coffee here. Bonds basically looking at bottom. Looks like it's going to make a new low. That's what I'm expecting. Looking for new low with some divergence on PPO, and then that will be bottom, and then we're going to get a bounce. All right, I covered these ETFs here. Let's quickly look at DIA. I think it created a gap today, but I think its gap is filled. So there's another gap here on Dow Jones DIA ETF, which is around 331. So most likely it's coming there to fill this gap. Also this above gap, I think it's not filled. Let's go to 1 hour chart. This gap is not filled. Actually, it's very close to the filling, so I'm going to get rid of this. Now there's only one gap left on Dow Jones, looking for this gap to fill. IWM, no gaps here. Also this massive gap here around 175, that will be a really nice opportunity to buy. If it so this is already paid out, my projection, so I have to add a new projection now. So the new projections, I really prefer this to come back there, fill this gap, and then go higher. All right, that will be really awesome. XLE down 1%. But it's holding this 220. Okay, so it's filled this gap, so let's adjust these gaps. So it filled this gap, so you can see these gaps most likely get filled. Another massive gap here, it could come there to fill this gap, and that will be the bottom, or it can come, there's another gap here around 71.55. So it all depends on how low oil goes, but at minimum I think this possibly can go and get a bid here around $77.83. XLU flat, looking very nice, so that's why I said Enbridge. This is something which is looking very nice. Look at the sell-off, there's a gap here, so if tomorrow we go down and fill this gap around $36, that will be really interesting, and I will be really looking to buy Enbridge on that gap fill. So that will be my target to buy Enbridge, which is one of the biggest utility stocks in Canada. Let's keep going. Where were we? XLV, healthcare, also looking like it's breaking down now. Let's see if there are any gaps to the bottom side. No, but there is a trend line here. So I'm looking, if it falls, at least fill this gap around 120. And also there's a trend line. So if it goes to this trend line, that will be a great buying opportunity. This ETF industrials ripping higher, and now it's cooling down. Again, this gap here around 198, that will be my target to buy. Real estate, for some reason, I don't know why it's green. Mortgage rates are going higher, but I think there's a gap also on real estate. And also actually this gap is filled. So let's go to 1 hour chart so we can get rid of this gap. You can see these gaps, again, same theory everywhere. Gaps do eventually get filled. Now there's this gap here, okay, looking for that gap to fill before going higher. XLF, again, massive gap here around $32. So looking for that gap to fill before we can go higher further. So actually, if I go to 1 hour chart, I think, yeah, this gap is filled. So let's get rid of this. Okay, so now we have basically a gap to the bottom side. Financials, looking for that gap to fill before going higher. And let's look at Tesla. Let's look at some stocks. Tesla keep ripping higher. Massive gap here around 235. So be careful. It can come. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Did it fill this gap? It did not fill this gap. It came very close. So I think Tesla most likely going to fill this gap around this gap around 235. Okay. Also, there's another gap around 221. There's third gap around 208. And there's another big gap around 161. Okay, so you can take your pick. You can see all these gaps to the downside. Okay, eventually this will fill. You take a pick. Do you want to buy Tesla here? Doesn't make any sense to buy Tesla at these points. Okay, so be very careful. If you are bull on Tesla, this is a perfect opportunity to take profits. Apple. Let's go to let's see if there are any gaps here. Yeah, there's gap here. We can see multiple gaps here. Okay, so looking for cool down on Apple before we can go higher. So let's get rid of this trend line. And I don't see any divergence, so nothing to talk about, but looking for a little bit of cool down before we go higher. Google, massive gap here around 112, I think 113 at minimum, looking for this gap to fill. There's another gap here around 108, and this bottom gap is too far, so I'll be looking for this to fill. So from today's close, this is around 9%. That will be a really nice buying opportunity on Google. Okay, so from here I'm looking for this gap to fill, then we go higher. All right, Microsoft was green today. Again, there are also multiple gaps on Microsoft, and you can see this gap here around 315. Another massive gap here around 227.27. So these gaps will eventually be filled. Maybe it will fill during earnings time, but for now, at minimum, I'm looking for this first gap to fill. Snowflake, really bad earnings report. Still, these guys keep pumping for no reason, but there's divergence. You can see new high, divergence here. Looking for lower prices on Snowflakes. That's all I'm going to say. Meta, daily chart. Let's see if there are any gaps. I think there are multiple gaps. You can see all these gaps to the downside. Nothing, and also it's holding this trend line very nicely. This white trend line. If I hide these moving averages, you can see nicely holding this trend line right on this trend line today. Okay, so if it breaks, to sell. Okay. Also, there's divergence on PPO and RSI. You can see if I can draw it here. You can see massive divergence on PPO and RSI. Still, it's keep going higher, but on divergences. So looking for this to break soon. You can see all these gaps Meta has to fill. Okay, you want to take profits here. Amazon. Let's quickly see. Amazon again, multiple gaps to the downside. And let's adjust this. I think at minimum we're going down to fill this gap. Also, there's a trend line here coming, so we can even come back here to this trend line. Okay. Netflix also made a new high, and I don't see any divergence on PPO and RSI, but it's an overbought condition. Multiple gaps to the downside. Okay, so you take a pick. Also, there's this trend line here, so let's extend this trend line on Netflix. Let's make it something like this. Okay, this trend line here. So I think that will be good area to buy Netflix if it comes back to this trend line. Okay. NVDA made a new all-time high, but divergence on RSI and PPO, massive gap. Not bullish on NVIDIA here. Okay, I'll let it do his thing, but I'm gonna buy on pullbacks. Not interested in buying these stocks here. AMD, same thing. Looking for a pullback. Okay, new high on divergences. Not interested to buy. Actually, if I go to 1 hour chart, let's see if it made any gaps. Yeah, gaps are filled. This gap was filled. But yeah, looking very parabolic right now. AMD. All these semiconductors are looking very parabolic. You can see Intel, new highs, again on divergences. So if it keeps going higher, it can break divergence. But until it do so, I'm just gonna be careful here, okay? And yeah, just parabolic moves. That's all I can say. Shopify also divergences, making new high. Same story. All tech stocks have big divergences and multiple gaps. So we gotta be very, very careful with all these tech stocks, okay? The ones which are marked red are towards the bottom, so I'm interested in buying those, but I haven't bought those yet. So PayPal looks like 1 hour chart. It might have filled this gap. So let's get rid of this. This gap is filled. If I go to daily chart, no gap to the downside. There's also a gap to the top. So from today's close, if you go high, it can go as high as 18%. Okay, so PayPal is looking good. You can see what's happening. We made a new low on divergences. You can see we got a buy signal here, and we have divergence. So PayPal is looking good for the long. This could be a flag before we go higher for this trend line. So PayPal is looking good. Disney, I'm just going to review the red ones. So Disney is also looking good. The only issue with Disney is this gap here. So if we come down here to fill this gap, that will be really nice. And it's already in this big buy zone here. Okay, so Disney, I will just make it like this. Okay, so looking for this gap to fill around $88. If it comes here, that will be a good buying opportunity. From here, the target is around 3%. So if we go here tomorrow, look to buy. ABBV, this is another healthcare stock. Let's bring some moving averages to get an idea. Again, all these moving averages are going down, but it's really in a major buy zone. We have major support here. If I draw something like this, you can see you really want to buy on support. Okay, you don't want to buy here. Buy on support here. Very nice. PFE, Pfizer, also not bad. Pfizer is also good. All healthcare stocks are good. Looks like it broke out and now backtesting this 50 daily SMA line, backtesting it. So looking for a good, looking good. Nike, a massive buy candle. That's all I can say. You can see my projection. I did not change anything, and now it's bouncing. But it left this big gap here. I don't know if it's gonna fill soon, but Nike is looking bullish. It's above this 200 SMA line, blue line, and earnings is coming soon. So I think we missed the move on Nike. So just stay now. If you missed it, you missed it. Okay, you did not buy it. UPS also looking good. You can see divergences, making new low on divergences, and now it's looking good. Home Depot is also another stock which is looking good. Multiple gaps to the top side, all these yellow lines, and I think let's go to 1 hour chart. Looks like we closed some gaps, so you can get rid of this. Another gap to the downside here on Home Depot. So if we go down tomorrow, that will be a buy target, $288.9, $289. So looking for a little bit of sell-off. If we get here for some reason, that will be a good buying opportunity. All right. I'm not going to review all of these. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. Banks, CP Rail, XOM. No, I think that's it. Okay, guys. I spent some good time today. I hope if you're still here, please hit the like button on your way out, and please share with your friends and family. Okay, guys. Take care and have a good trading day. Wish you all the best and have a good night. Bye.